Hello and welcome to the programme. I'm Nima Abouarte. As turmoil continues in Egypt, it serves as a reminder that the Arab Spring is still unsettling this region. Now, this week we travel to Jordan, a country that hasn't seen a revolution, but where people are back on the streets in protest. So how is the country's economy faring? We'll be finding out. Also coming up this week, striving for equality in Saudi Arabia, but are steps being taken to get more women in the workforce enough?
And plane crazy? I get on board the UAE's first domestic airline, but can they tempt commuters out of their cars and into the sky?
But first, Jordan doesn't have any oil of its own, and the energy that it imports is heavily subsidized for its people. But the economy is struggling, and in order to qualify for a $2 billion IMF loan, the government recently lifted many fuel subsidies, leading to protests across the kingdom. But is there an alternative? Jonathan Fruin went there to find out.
Meet Hassan. He runs this coffee and chocolate business and says his costs are up around $700 a month since fuel subsidies were cut by Jordan's government. It means his profit margins are down, and as Jordanians feel the pinch, some have less disposable income to spend on his treats.
It affected us in two ways. It affected the transportation and roasting cost here in the shop. The other way is that since our clients are already affected by inflation and their salaries are limited, prices rose more than the percentage increase in their salaries, so their purchasing power decreased, which affected us too.
But recent energy price hikes are only the beginning. Jordan's been told it needs to remove substantial electricity subsidies too if it's going to get much needed help from the IMF, loans it needs to help pay its bills. And higher electricity costs would hurt businesses like this cardboard factory. Whilst there are indications that electricity price rises could be staggered, it leaves companies like this thinking about moving elsewhere.
If we cannot make profit here, then we have to look at different types of investments here and abroad. Our loyalty to this country, it's never ending, but cardboard and paper depends a lot on energy. Energy cost is really high in Jordan. We might have to look at neighboring countries who have cheaper energy, and if we really, and this is the last thing we have to think of, is to move the factory somewhere to neighboring countries and sell back to Jordan.
It's not just businesses which have felt the squeeze.